All right, so what I'm here to talk about today, of course, is the information that explains that there are no people that are born gay. And that's a good thing. And it's not a good thing for all the things that you can really pull your hair out about, that you shouldn't have any rights, whatever else. You should have all your rights. It's a civil society, and no one should replace their morals or their judgment or whatever else in place of your rights to life, liberty, and happiness. That's the reason we say happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas now, is because at some point, Christians may not be, and are currently close to not being, the dominant group. So we want to be able to point out and say, hey, we were very tolerant of everyone else's faith when we were the majority. So now that only 5% of the population is Christian, please respect our traditions. Same thing for being white. Some white people have the good sense to know that the country is getting browner and browner and browner, and they want to go, hey, we did the constitutional thing when we were in the majority to protect your rights. Now that we're a minority, we kind of expect the same benefits. So when you're talking about civil society, a collection of rules that we've agreed upon in this society, in this country, those should be protected. You should be able to live with who you want to, love who you want to, or whatever else. That's civil. That's separate from how someone may feel on principle. That's separate how they may feel personally about it, or if they would do it, or how they feel morally, or what their moral traditions may teach them about it. So those are all separate issues. Now, those are important because as you fight for your rights, you don't want to overreach. And so far, a big part of this overreach has come from we don't have a choice. There shouldn't be any conversion therapy. There shouldn't be anything else because we are born this way. And your God, Mr. Bible Thumper, doesn't make mistakes. Are you saying God made a mistake because he made me gay? He did not. There's no gay gene. And you do not want there to be a gay gene. I'll tell you as a black male, you don't want you don't want a gay gene. Because forever and ever they've been looking for a genetic component to criminality. And if they can find it, and if they can associate it with being black, they're already working on, hey, you can pick your kid's eye color, you can pick the kid's this, you can get rid of diseases. What do you think would go on that list? What percentage of abortions would increase just from some of the parents who quietly may be allies in your face, but when they're faced with their child is going to be born gay and have the option to tweak that out, would take it. Many of them would. You don't need there to be a gay gene. And luckily, there is no gay gene. The human genome is too complex. The only thing they've been able to find is a collection of predisposition. Predisposition to alcoholism, predisposition to breast cancer. But that is not the same thing as born this way. Predisposition leaves room for environmental factors. My family may be predisposed to certain types of cancers, but there's just as much chance of me never having any cancer, or I could acquire it from not developing it genetically, but from something I chose to do in my lifestyle or that came about in my environment. So when they are telling you that you don't need to be born this way, be happy. Stop beating your chest with this. This movement has been on the wrong track for a long time, since the 90s, when I was reminding gay activists, y'all gonna have to do something about these bi-curious classified ads. You don't want to recruit straight people into this movement as allies, supporting you having your civil rights and stuff like that, or your human dignity, yes, but you don't want them flipping and flopping in and out of being gay, especially when you're trying to sell a born this way argument, because straight people are inadvertently straight and they stick around because of an emotional situation or a moment of convenience or inconvenience or whatever happens, and then they still first feel a certain way and they go, hey, well, I did this with this same sex person, but I still like the opposite sex. I guess I'm bi. It's a joke. It's a joke. You are indecisive, you're immature, but there's no bi gene either. Because humanity, and this isn't popular, but I'm too old to give a shit, is made of meat eating straight people. That's what it is. meat-eating straight people. Everything outside of that is a deviation from the norm. So whenever you hear people yammering on about veganism, whenever you hear the alphabet community going on and on, that's fine. No one wants to restrict your rights. I'll stand in the way for anybody trying to restrict your rights. But don't overreach and sell this as something that will allow humans to exist. What God did is put sperm over here and ovaries over here for human beings. And when those two things come together, they create new human beings. You don't put those things together, you don't get new human beings. So if everybody would have collectively been gay too long ago, there wouldn't be any more human beings. Same thing for eating meat. It's been 2.5 million years. It's the reason people can choose to be gay. It's the reason people can choose to be vegans, is because straight meat eaters have kept humanity around this long. So don't get on your high horse. Don't morally judge anybody. Don't do anything else that you don't want done to you. So I'm sharing a link to an NPR report about why you don't want to be born this way. Because if they ever find a gene that makes you gay, it will make the Holocaust look like a playground, because they will distill it down and they will get rid of it. You do not want that. You want this predisposition and an opportunity to just fight for your inalienable rights. Rights that are given to you by whoever you believe brought us forth. So make that your focus. Stop saying born this way, because it's not true. It's a lie. And you don't want it to be true ever.